I'm Nathan Judo. I'm here with Wolves reporter Mr. Liam Keane. Don't quite know where to start. Brighton 6, S-I-X, 6. Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. I'm still stunned. I didn't see that coming in the slightest. Can you put into words what you've just witnessed?
We know how good a team Brighton are, and they were absolutely brilliant today. Let's not take anything away from them. At the same time, it's up there with one of the worst Wolves displays I've seen in a very long time. From top to bottom, it was atrocious.
Abysmal.
Absolutely awful. You can use any adjective to describe it. It was abject, it was slow, it was no ideas going forward, couldn't keep the ball, couldn't defend, handed the goals on a plate. I mean, there was a couple of very good finishes, don't get me wrong, but handed the goals on a plate to Brighton, and Brighton happily took them because they're a team, albeit had a couple of dodgy results recently, are a team that's had a very good season, and at the moment they're a million miles ahead of where Wolves are, and that's the most damning part of today.
I think you've nailed it. I said before this game that this is a good marker for next season, and the Wolves and Brighton should be kind of looking to achieve the same position in the table. Look, it was men against boys, and it was from the opening minute. You can talk about, I mean, there's lots of things to talk about, but you know, the manager, the formation, the players today. I mean, regardless of whether he got the formation right or wrong, well, he got it wrong, and the personnel that he picked, those players out there, some of them have got to take a long, hard look at themselves, because that was pretty pathetic. And this wasn't even Championship standard. This was League One, League Two, and it was just switching off. I'm stunned that a Julian Lopetegui side. I didn't think a Julian Lopetegui side had it in them to produce a performance like that, and that's worrying.
No, we've seen bad performances, we've seen mistakes, we've seen silly goals given away, but we've not seen a performance like that. That was genuinely, from minute one to the final whistle, exceptionally poor.
Did you see it coming? I didn't see that coming.
No,
that's the shock.
Completely agree with your analysis there. That I didn't think that a Lopetegui side in particular, the way that he's set them up, the way that he's changed his side since he came in November, didn't think this side had it in them to perform like that and produce that. And unfortunately, they did. I think if I'm going to be kind, I can give one player a little bit of praise. I think we both agree on this. Pedro Neto, a couple of decent opportunities a couple of decent runs, but not rather than opportunities in the first half. He kept plugging away in the second half. He was the one player that comes out with a little bit of pride from today. Other than that, I couldn't name you a player because it was top to bottom awful.
I mean, some of these are world class international players. I mean, some of the mistakes. I mean, I've got to say his name. I mean, Matheus Nunes today, on a different planet. I mean, some of the balls he gave away, pretty much everyone led to a goal, by the way. I'm absolutely lost for words. Some of the displays out there today was just unacceptable.
No, absolutely. Nunes, spot on. I can name the rest of them as well. I don't know if you're going to be completely fair, but I completely agree. I had no idea what he was doing today, all over the place.
I don't think
Left wing, right back, right wing back. I did tweet at half time, exceptionally confident that he wasn't going to continue at right back in the second half. Exactly where, well, right wing back, but same difference. Especially when you lose 6-0, I don't think it really matters. All over the place. I understand that Wolves were changing system and they don't have a right back on the bench because Johnny wasn't there. Obviously, Nori wasn't there to sort of switch things up as well. But Collins has played right back before, Dawson's played right back before. Keep a back five and put one of them there. I don't understand the decision to move, or keep rather, move him and then keep him, Nunes, in that position. It made no sense. And he was getting absolutely torn to shreds by Matoma when he came on. And of course the final goal is just a comedy of errors from start to finish. And you know, it's a great finish by Undav, but Nunes chose for it, sort of in the centre of the pitch, makes no sense. Chose for the ball in a place he shouldn't. Sarr passes it when he shouldn't. And Nunes is all over the shop.
I mean, look, this is a Deniz Undav who, let's be honest, been a bit of a joke around the fans and the Brighton fans. Hasn't scored a Premier League goal this season in 15 appearances and scores two today and looks like a world beater. Played well, of course, but Wolves have allowed players like that to do it. These aren't players who have scored. This isn't Haaland who scored 3 or 4 today. You know, these are players. I mean, let's be honest. Brighton made a load of changes today. They rested some of their best players. This isn't, your number one top-class Brighton side. They've got some good players, but goodness me, you look at that team sheet and you think, oh, they've got a bit of a chance here. But there's going to be there's been a lot of mistakes made from Junior Lopetegui, and I'm sure, and he's put his hands up in the post-match presser, through to the fans, and it's a wake-up call for a lot of people. And look, he will have learned a lot about his players today as well. We know and we talk and we can celebrate them when they're doing very, very well, and we have done. But at the same time, when you put a performance like that in front of those fans who have travelled 8 or 9 hour round trip, costing you 100, 200, 300 quid depending on how many people you've got, that's completely unacceptable, and the fans won't have that. I know it's part and parcel of football, Liam, but that, I think, is a display that cannot be repeated.
No, absolutely. You're right. On paper, and it doesn't count for much clearly after 6-0, but on paper, it's the best time to play Brighton. Lost to the FA Cup semi-final, lost to Forest in midweek, rest, Matoma, Caicedo, McAllister. So many players, so many very good players.
Yeah.
We'll get into this Wolves team, by the way, on the bench. And they absolutely demolished Wolves. Again, I have to give them credit. They were very, very good, but equally Wolves were just as bad, and that's the worrying thing. You cannot repeat this. In some ways,
is Villa a good game?
Exactly what I was about to say. In some ways, it's the best possible game you can have next at home to a Villa side who, yes, are doing well themselves, but the Wolves must. And they've got no excuses but to be up for that game.
Yeah.
They have to put this right here and give those fans something to cheer about, because the people that came here today, and the ones that left early, I do not blame at all, but the people who came here today to watch that deserve a lot better.
Brighton 6, Wolves 0. For all the post-match reaction, make sure you log on to expressandstar.com.